Have you ever set a goal for yourself only to just sabotage it last minute? Like, you wrote it down, you put it on your calendar, you had it in your phone, you told your friends about it, like you committed to it, and then some reason or not, you just did not actually accomplish the goal. And it left yourself thinking and wondering, why didn't I get to this? Why didn't I do it? I had a plan, I had the structure. Why didn't I accomplish it? That's because you probably sabotaged it before you even realized it. I've been there more times than I like to admit, whether it was procrastinating, overthinking, or just not following through. I realized that I was the one standing in my own way. Welcome to Conquer Your Ish. I am Janelle Rocket. Of course, you can call me Rocky. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to conquer your inner critic. I'm going to be talking specifically through how to break free from self-sabotage. Now, this might be a step-by-step guide for some of you guys, and for the rest of you, this might be just the beginning of acknowledging that you do self-sabotage. Either way, I want you to take your time as you go through this video. And as always, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you like this content, share it with a friend who you know needs it. Okay, so listen, there is a cycle when it comes to self-sabotage, and it starts from our childhood years. And you guys know in my videos, I talk a lot about childhood years. Well, these things start from our childhood years. And so first things first, let me just tell you what it is, right? These are behaviors or thought patterns that hold you back from achieving your full potential. It occurs consciously and subconsciously. Like, you act in ways that hinders or interferes with your own success. And these actions really stem from a fear, low self-esteem, something that's deeply ingrained in you. That is a belief system that you have built up around failure, success, or even worse, your own worthiness. And I've been there. I've been that person where I question my own worthiness to the point where I sabotage myself, right? And so what could this potentially look like for us? Procrastination, negative self-talk, perfectionism. Oh, don't even let me get started on perfectionism. Avoiding change because it's you want to stay in your comfort zone. Overcommitting. Oh, can we just pause for a minute and just say overcommitting is self-sabotage? Overcommitting means you have lack of boundaries. That's probably another episode. We'll get to that. But self-sabotage can really be subtle. Like, it can be subtle. It can be things like, oh, I'll, pick up this thing on my way home, even though I'm tired. And then when you get home, you don't have enough time to really do the things you want to do. But you did that to make somebody else happy. But you sabotage your own rest and your own peace of mind. And so those are usually the first little steps or the first little patterns that presents themselves that lead to you becoming overwhelmed. And oftentimes breaking down our limiting beliefs and then also the patterns that form this level of self-sabotage can be a challenge. And so I really want us to focus on a few things. Where in our childhood did this start? And I'm going to talk specifically to my own personal experience. Now, as you guys know, I'm not an expert. I'm just a woman in my 30s who loves Jesus, and I live in a ratchet world, right? And what I learned is that I have an anxious attachment style. And my attachment style is rooted in fear of abandonment, rejection, and not being loved enough. And so as someone who has an anxious attachment style, this developed because my mother, my father were inconsistent in meeting my emotional needs and creating a sense of safety and security for me. And so this insecurity led to me creating these self-sabotaging behaviors as a child because I struggled with feeling safe and secure in relationships. And so how did that happen? People pleasing, number one. Most people who have a anxious attachment style want to please their parents, their teachers, their friends. They want to gain approval to avoid being rejected, because rejection hurts us. Rejection hurts us. And so this leads to us neglecting our own needs because we want to make the people around us so happy, and sacrificing ourselves or overextending ourselves. And this overextending occurs in relationships, and it leads to us becoming emotionally burned out. The second thing is, okay, y'all, let's be real. How many of us ladies say, oh, I'm clingy. I need a man that understands I'm clingy. Well, clinginess can be a problem. It can be an indicator of self-sabotage. As a child, because I developed this ancient attachment style, I clung to my caregivers or my peers or in relationships whenever I felt like I was getting a drop of water could felt like it was a whole bottle, because I feared abandonment and rejection. And so I clung on to that. And so this created a cycle where I continuously was seeking reassurance and attention. And that reassurance and attention for someone who's not clingy, or someone who doesn't understand clinginess, pushes them away. And it actually makes a lot of sense when I think about some of my relationships that didn't last. And so in my attempt to prevent rejection, I triggered a fear that I was unlovable and that I would be left behind. It also led to overthinking and constant worrying, right? Because as a child who struggled with anxious attachment theory, anxious attachment style, I engaged in just excessive worrying about whether I'm liked, I'm loved, I'm accepted, people will come to this or do this for me or be there for me. And this is mental self-sabotage, because I'm always anxious. I'm always going through anxiety. And it made it difficult for me to enjoy just people and relationships and people around me, because I couldn't focus on the positive interactions. I was always thinking that the people would leave me. And over time, I wasn't able to form healthy connections with friends, with family, in relationships, and even with my own daughter. And so I share that with you because self-sabotage can be rooted in your attachment style and how you dealt with your parents. If you have an avoidant attachment style, then your fear is, you're a runner, you'll run away. So you would avoid doing something just so you don't get hurt. You would avoid going through a situation just so you don't get hurt. And in the process, you hurt yourself. This is unhealthy and it's not good for us. And you live in a constant state of anxiety of, am I good enough? Will I have a secure relationship? And so there are solutions. There are things that you can do. Number one, if you feel like you're a procrastinator and that leads to missed opportunities, stop putting yourself in a position where your goal is so big. Break it down into smaller, manageable tasks that you can get done. And set deadlines for yourself. If you know you clock out at 7 tasks for the day, give yourself 3 or 4. And reward yourself for completing them. Because the thing I know about self-sabotage, even with dealing with it myself, is that I can reward myself and still be good. Most of the people who are self-sabotagers do not reward themselves. They do not do self-care. They do not practice self-love. So a reward for me is a good thing. The second thing, if you get to a point where you overthink so much and it paralyzes you, limit the time you think. I have a rule. I have a 5-minute rule. For 5 minutes, I allow myself to overthink and just go nuts and think about all the worst and best scenarios. After 5 minutes, I pray on it. I use my scriptures, and then I make a decision. If for some reason after I pray, I feel like God is telling me to wait, I wait. But trust your initial instinct and move forward. The next thing, if you fear failure, reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Every setback is a chance to grow and improve. Every setback is a chance to learn from what you did wrong so you can get it right the next time. Failure is not scary. Success is usually what scares us. So, what happens if you do get the success you want? What happens if you do get to the point where these things work out for you? Reframe that ish. And then lastly, stop comparing yourself to everybody else and feeling inadequate. Like, focus on your own journey. Celebrate your wins. I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. I am starting this YouTube channel and I'm very scared. I am in a position where I'm sharing so much of myself and I've never done this before. And now I'm here sharing so much of myself with people who don't even really know me. And you guys get to see a side of me that my own family doesn't get to see. So now I'm doing something for me. This is for my journey. And I'm celebrating because I'm making videos. I'm putting the content out there and understanding that my path is different. My path to healing is different. I have therapists. I have a pastor. I talk to my friends. But what I'm doing right now is for me. You need to have something for you. And when you think about dealing with self-sabotage, there are benefits to getting past it. It's going to take some time because I'm still going through it too. But number one, like you'll start to see like real progress at your goals. In areas where you once felt stuck, where you once felt you weren't doing something, where you didn't feel motivated, you felt like you weren't doing enough, you'll start to experience progress in new ways because those big goals you kept setting for yourself are now manageable, bite-sized goals, and you'll start checking things off of your list. The second thing is confidence. Like each success, no matter what, like builds your ability to do more. So you become more and more confident to tackle bigger things. And lastly, like when you stop self-sabotaging yourself, you open yourself up for new possibilities and chances to grow. I am a firm believer that self-sabotage is a blessing blocker. Self-sabotage actually stops God from doing what he is supposed to do for you. I am a firm believer in that. And now that I have this ingrained in my mind, I have to work through it because I want to be blessed. I want abundance. It's promised to me. Yeah, struggle is promised sometimes too, right? You believe in Jesus, you believe in God, you're going to go through some things, but abundance is promised to me. And that's what I want. I want to get through what I have put in front of myself for so long so I can have a life where I build a legacy and my daughter is proud of me. My family is proud of me. My friends are proud of me. I don't want to struggle anymore because of me. So when you realize how much self-sabotage is taken from you, that's when you make a choice and a decision to move forward and do better. Listen, I know a lot of my behavior traits came from childhood. It came from a lack that I received because of my parents. And I want to remind you guys that they did as well as they could with what they had. Now it's time for me, it's time for us to take it by the reins and do what we have to do to heal ourselves. God has us. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and he's going to make sure we're good. Listen, I've put together a list of resources down below that I've used to help me overcome some of my self-sabotaging behaviors. I want you to check them out. And as always, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy this content, let me know in the comments below. And if you want me to create more content like this, let me know that as well. If you really enjoyed this content, share it with a friend who you know could identify with some of these things. Listen, I'm rooting for y'all, and I can't wait for us to overcome this together. Until the next time, I want you to go out there and conquer your ish.